Day 91, 4:58 in the morning. He has been lying here, eyes open, since 4:40. The negotiation started at 4:42. He knows the alarm goes off in 2 minutes. He is already building the case for why today should be the exception. Part of him says, one day will not matter. The other part, the part he is starting to trust more, says, it is never one day. It is always one day. 91 days ago, a man he respected said something to him. He has been getting up every morning since. He is not going to let one weak argument at 4:58 a.m. undo 90 days of a man he is only beginning to become. The alarm sounds. He silences it in one motion and gets up. Not because it is easy, not because he feels ready, because 91 days ago he made a promise to himself in a moment of complete honesty, the kind of honesty that only comes at 2 a.m. when you are tired of who you have been.
How many things have you started that you have not finished? Not failed at, simply stopped. The gym membership, the business plan, the book, the habit, the version of yourself you were absolutely certain you were going to become this time. Research from the University of Scranton found that 92% of people never achieve the goals they set for themselves. 92%. The gap between those who do and those who do not is not talent. It is not intelligence. It is not even discipline in the way most people understand it. It is something far simpler and far harder. There are men who make promises to themselves and keep them, and there are men who make the same promise over and over to a version of themselves who has stopped believing it. The difference between those two men is not a personality type, it is a pattern of behavior. Today, you are going to see exactly what that pattern looks like, where it breaks, and how one man found the only thing that actually repairs it. I am not going to give you a productivity framework.
I am not going to tell you to wake up at 5 a.m. because some executive does it. What I am going to show you is what happened to one man when he made a single promise to himself and, for the first time in years, actually kept it. Stay with me. His name was Emeka, 29 years old, Lagos. The kind of man who had read all the books, watched all the videos, made all the plans, and somehow never closed the gap between knowing what to do and actually doing it. Every few weeks, the feeling would come, that surge, that absolute certainty that this time was different. He would start a new routine, wake up earlier, work out, read, track his habits. For about 10 days, he was the man he wanted to be. Then day 11 would arrive, and something would happen. Not always a crisis, sometimes just a bad night's sleep, a difficult conversation, a single day where he did not feel like it, and that single day would become the last day. The worst part was not the failure. He had made peace, more or less, with failure. The worst part was the conversation he had with himself every time it happened. Because he knew he was capable. He could see the life he wanted. He could describe it in detail. But between who he was and who he needed to be, there was a distance he could not seem to close. One night, he stopped. No phone, no music, no next video to watch. Just him and 2 years' worth of unfinished things sitting quietly in the same room. And he asked himself a question he had been running from for longer than he could remember. Why do I keep doing this to myself? Not as an accusation, as a genuine question. He wanted an honest answer. For the first time, he was ready for one. The next morning, he called his uncle, a man who had started 3 businesses, lost 2 of them completely, built the third into something that outlasted both failures combined. A man who spoke slowly because he had learned, the hard way, that words cost something, and he had stopped spending them carelessly. His uncle listened without interrupting. Then he said, Every worthwhile thing you will ever attempt has a middle phase. The beginning is exciting. Everyone loves a beginning. The end is rewarding. Everyone celebrates a finish. But the middle is where the work actually lives. And the middle feels like failure, even when it is not. Most men go home in the middle. The ones who do not, those are the men you admire. He had never heard it said that simply. He had never needed it said that simply. Then his uncle gave him one instruction. Not a plan, not a system. One instruction. Wake up at 5 a.m. every day for 1 year. Not to be productive, not to build a morning routine, just to prove to yourself that you are the kind of man who does what he says he will do. He wrote it down. It took 4 seconds. It would take 365 mornings. Day 1. He got up. It was dark. It was cold. He sat on the edge of the bed for 4 minutes before he stood fully. Nobody saw it. Nobody clapped. He made tea, then sat at his desk and stared at a blank document for 20 minutes. That was day 1. It looked nothing like the version he had imagined. 3 months in, everything fell apart at once. A relationship that had been fragile broke completely. Work became something he dreaded. Sleep became a stranger. For 2 weeks, he moved through his days like a man walking through deep water. Every morning felt like a verdict on a case he had not agreed to stand trial for. And on day 91, the morning you saw at the very beginning of this video, he built the most convincing argument he had ever made for staying where he was. He lay there, 4:42, 4:51, 4:58. The argument was strong. He was tired. He had earned a rest. 1 day would not matter. And then, in the silence before the alarm, he heard his uncle's voice. Not from a phone, just from somewhere inside him where things get stored when they are true enough. The middle is where most men go home. The alarm went off. He got up. 1 year later, he had not become rich, he had not built a business or become famous, but something had changed that he had not anticipated. He trusted himself. Not completely, not perfectly, but for the first time in years, when he made a promise to himself, he believed it. And it turns out, that is the foundation everything else is built on. Not motivation, not talent, just the quiet, daily proof that you are a man who keeps his word, starting with the word you give to yourself. He is not a character in a story. He is a pattern. He is the version of you that keeps starting, and the version of you that keeps stopping. And, if you stay with this, the version of you that finally decides the middle phase is worth surviving. Lesson 1. Motivation is a visitor. Discipline is a resident. Lesson 2. The middle phase of every worthwhile thing feels like failure. It is not. Lesson 3. The promise you keep to yourself when no one is watching is the foundation of self-respect.
Lesson 4. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Build the system. If you have been struggling to keep the promises you make to yourself, I want to tell you something directly. You are not lazy. You are not undisciplined by nature. You are a man who has not yet survived his own middle phase. And surviving it does not require extraordinary willpower. It requires only this: doing the thing you said you would do on the day you do not feel like doing it. That is the whole secret. Living it is everything. Here is what I want you to do. Not this week, today. Choose one thing, one specific thing that you have been postponing because you are waiting to feel ready. Do it today. Not perfectly, Not completely. Just begin it. Because the man who keeps his word to himself today is building the man who keeps his word tomorrow. That is how it works. That is the only way it works. If this story gave you something worth keeping, subscribe to Master Chie. Every Tuesday and every Saturday, a new story, a new truth. Built for men who refuse to stay where they are. And leave a comment below. Tell me, what is the one thing you are going to stop postponing today? I read every single one.